Hello everyone. I feel like simply this could be the simplest video I've ever recorded up to this point because today we're gonna speak about peace, and peace is simple. And one way to reach a state of ultimate peace is when you don't let anything interfere with your peace, especially your mental health, because it is quite it is quite an easy process to forgetting. So you need to make it easy and understand how easy it is to not forget the path that you have set for yourself, and not allowing anything to mess up your peace is important for you and your mental health, because believe it or not, man, there might be things that are gonna come reaching, right? But the moment you're able to see them before they reach you, and then you remember that you are at peace, you're this peaceful being, then you will not allow them to mess up with your energy, man. And I want us to focus on that. So how do you maintain a peaceful lifestyle? You maintain a peaceful lifestyle by firstly establishing what it is peaceful to you, right? So if you can establish that, like on how you see peace, right? If peace for you is going out and raging, then keep to it that you always do that and do not let anything interfere with that. But if peace for you is just being in constant flow and not being upset, being constant in a constant mood, then it is important for you to point out the things that might try to get you out of that mood and react to them accordingly, right? So what is peace? Peace is a state of mind where you are constant in this feeling that you chose. Like you woke up one day and you're like, I want to feel like this, and then you are feeling like that constantly. That means you're at peace. So why would someone want to be at peace? I mean, being at peace means that your mood is how you want it to be. You're not letting anything interfere with your mood. That's for one. And to do that shouldn't be a challenge. You need to find a constant flow of what peace is to you, right? So when do you find peace? You find peace when you realize what it is to you to have peace, and when you have the courage to tackle the things that might want to come back to your peace. You get me? And like by me saying tackle those things, I do not mean fighting them and losing your constant flow. I mean reacting accordingly, and like firstly noticing them and then deciding, like planning out how you're going to deal with them, and then from that you establish that plan, and then you're able to see how that goes, right? And then from that you need to be able to come back and see what could have went wrong or what could go wrong, and just like fix it before it reaches a stage where right now you are set back on your intentions, right? It is important for you to be constant in your mood. And I understand like this video is gonna be short because you need to understand what it is to you and how to reach it, why and when you can establish that peace, because that is what is important to you at the time, your peace. So man, don't let anyone try, because people are fighting their own, people are tackling their own demons out there, man. And don't let them bring their anxiety to you, because we need to be at a place where we understand that certain emotions are contagious, certain things are contagious. So the moment that you let anyone's anxiety come into your space, then you kind of relieve them from their anxiety and it becomes yours. Because I'll give a scenario, like there was a time where I was feeling so good, right? On my way out of somewhere, and then at the entrance or the exit for me, I met an old acquaintance. They were on their way in as I was on my way out, and 2 seconds before 2 seconds before they saw me, I realized that their energy was down. But then, as they saw me, they gave me this hug, right? And then the hug that they gave me made me sad, and then they got into the space with like this bright and dark energy. So I don't even like at that moment I realized that like sometimes it is important, because I used to not understand why certain people do not want to give handshakes and they don't want to. So you need to be in a place where not being a bad person, but then you are protective of your energy, and you don't step out of your own comfort and your own peace by trying to please other people, right? Because as much as we might not see that, but like people are going through their own things that we do not want to be part of. So it is important for us to always realize how not to be affected by certain things, man. Right? Trust in your gut and what it tells you, because sometimes it is easy to fall, but don't, man, don't. Keep your peace, keep your mental health at its peak, and it is okay to see people on their low, right, and not react or judge or partake in that. As much as they keep you in the low, it's like that's them, that's not your concern. Be on a journey where you have established prior your boundaries, right? You need to set boundaries on, like pre-plan how you might want to help someone, how you might want to put out your hand. You need to pre-plan that so that it's the moment it gets across the line from what you said, you need to then at that moment be present and decide if you want to go a step further or retrench. You know? And even if you go a step further, but it is important that you decided that step. It's not you just acting and not being present in the moment, because that's when you lose it. That's when you go back at home, replay in that moment, which is not a fun activity to do whenever you're feeling regret, man. Regret is not a nice thing to do, so be in a place where you're constantly deciding and you are at peace with the decisions that you have taken, in order for you to be at peace in a constant flow with this thing that you desire for yourself. So when you get there, right, I want you to be grateful and give gratitude for what you have, right? I want you to be present and constantly being humble by what it is that you have, and always remembering what it took for you to reach it.